What if I was to tell you the way we remember Excel is going to be a totally different way moving forward, because Excel was just bought by somebody Caitlin Clark already have a relationship with. And like, I'm not talking about no anybody here. This ain't no anybody company that bought this company. We're talking about a premier company that damn near runs the economy of the United States. We're talking one of my favorite stores to go to. We're talking Goldman Sachs, baby. Yes, Goldman Sachs has purchased XL.
The whole drama around Clark's injury has been another big point of frustration, making people ask even more questions about how transparent the league and her team are. What was first called a minor sprained ankle has turned into this long, puzzling recovery process. Even with some impressive stats, Clark herself just didn't look like the player we know on the court. She struggled with being consistent, and her shooting percentages weren't great. Her season actually ended with a noticeable dip in performance, which really hinted at an injury way more serious and lasting than what the public was initially told. The true extent of her physical struggles became a major concern for fans.
Be playing in Unrivaled this offseason and has also passed on Athletes Unlimited. Okay, so she is not playing in that league. That's confirmation. Another domestic offseason league, nor will she be going overseas, even though offers would surely be lucrative. Instead, she said during her exit interview, her main focus during the winter is, quote, really just getting my body healthy. Caitlin Clark does want to suit up for Team USA in the spring, however. Though the Americans have already qualified for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup,
her coach Stephanie White did confirm how long Clark's recovery was going to be, highlighting a really slow, careful plan to build back her endurance and overall health. But here's the thing. This super long recovery going all the way from July into October for what they call a sprained ankle has really made people raise their eyebrows in the sport world. Critics are even calling it the slowest healing sprain ever. It definitely suggests a big lack of transparency, or maybe even that the Indiana Fever tried to downplay how serious the injury actually was. The timeline just doesn't make sense to a lot of people, fueling tons of rumors about what's really going on with her physically.
Stores to go to. We're talking Goldman Sachs, baby. Yes, Goldman Sachs has purchased XL Company, sports agency, bro. Goldman Sachs. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Goldman, if y'all don't know who. So, those you guys might not know this. Like, I come from a business background before YouTube, before I got the renting on the mics. Goldman Sachs is like the mecca of business, bro. Like, they up there, bro. I mean, like, it don't get no higher caliber than Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs nears $1 billion deal to buy talent.
To make sure she gets a full recovery, Clark has completely decided to skip all those really lucrative off-season opportunities. She won't be playing in Unrivaled or Athletes Unlimited, and she's not going after those big overseas offers either. Her only focus, as she said in her exit interview, is really just getting my body healthy. This choice, even though it cost her money in the short term, seriously highlights how bad her injury was and her long-term commitment to having a strong, injury-free career. It also shows how smart she's being, making sure she's 100% healthy before she steps back onto any court.
She does want to suit up for Team USA in the spring, however. Though the Americans have already qualified for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup, they will still participate in a qualifying tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico from March 11 through the 17th. Assuming Clark is selected for the team, those games will be the first time she sees real action since July 15th. In order to make sure she's ready by then, the Fever will not skip any steps over the next few weeks and months.
Caitlin Clark plans to suit up for Team USA in March of 2026. America has already qualified for the FIA Women's World Cup, but they'll still play in a qualifying tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico. From March, assuming she gets elected, this will be Clark's first real game action since July 15th. That's a full 8 months of intense rehab and smart preparation. Returning in that iconic Team USA jersey is going to be a huge deal, signaling a comeback moment for the ages.
This is a profound feat because for the simple fact, a change is going to come. And a change is going to come in a major way. I mean, Goldman Sachs, they ain't playing no games with the W, bro. I mean, they ain't playing. Hell, Erin Kane might get fired for what she did to Caitlin Clark off the rip. Off the rip, bro. No games is being played, bro. I mean, Goldman Sachs, next level. And just like I said, anybody that know business know this. But let's check this out. Shout out to Krista over on Twitter. This statement: Goldman Sachs near a deal for majority stake in XL Sports Management. Caitlin Clark, man.
The impact of Clark playing for Team USA is just massive. It will be her first time playing competitive basketball since her injury, and it's her chance to show she's back to full strength on a huge international stage. The number of people watching these qualifying games is expected to be absolutely insane, with broadcasters already lining up for the rights to what will definitely be a historic event. This is so much more than just basketball. It's a global platform for Clark to reclaim her dominance, cement her superstar status, and kick off what many believe will be a completely different phase of her career, all while totally wowing fans around the world.
Slowest groin/ankle situation I think I've ever seen in any sport that didn't involve tearing the groin or breaking the ankle. I've never seen an athlete take, even from bad high ankle sprains, I've never seen it take this long. Now, groins can come and go, but it would go and it wouldn't come back, unless she got back on the court and got there. And she's not going to know that until she actually plays the game. So I still don't quite understand what.
Her team is leaving absolutely no stone unturned in getting her ready, meticulously building her back to peak performance. Her training now isn't just one or two things. It's a really complex program that brings together 3 to 4 things at once. We're talking Decision M and live action, keeping her balance, explosive changes of direction, and rapid movements, all at 90 to 100. This really tough, multifaceted approach is designed to make sure she doesn't just come back healthy, but actually stronger and more agile than before, fully prepared for the super demanding pace of high-stakes international competition.
Goldman Sachs is in late stages talks to acquire a majority stake in XL Sports Management, the talent agency that represents sports stars Tiger Woods, Caitlin Clark, and Derek Jeter. Caitlin Clark name come before Derek. She right up there with Tiger Woods, bro. Yes, the deal, which value XL at nearly $1 billion, will be executed through Goldman Sachs' Access Management Division, according to a report on the Financial Times, citing sources familiar with the negotiations. This political acquisition represents another significant move by Wall Street into the expanding sports industry as financial.
So the entry of Wall Street into the WNBA through Goldman Sachs, combined with Clark's alleged fight behind the scenes, really sets the stage for a massive change in how the league operates. Questions about Commissioner Kathy Angelbert's leadership and those constant problems with refereeing are definitely going to get more intense. The pressure for better accountability and transparency won't just come from fans and players anymore. It'll also come from powerful financial players who have a serious stake in the league's success and protecting its most valuable asset. The old ways of doing business in the WNBA are about to face a challenge unlike anything we've seen before.
Although after her remarks about Kelsey Mitchell, a lot more of it makes a lot more sense. I just hate that I feel like I've been right this whole time. Damn. I kind of wanted to be wrong on that, frankly. So there it is. It looks like we've got Caitlin Clark potentially coming back. All right. Not in May, not mid-May, but towards the first part, middle of March. So we may see Caitlin Clark on a basketball court playing meaningful basketball.
Goldman Sachs isn't just investing in a talent agency. They're investing in the WNBA's entire future with Caitlin Clark as the absolute centerpiece. As one insider put it, they are not dumb enough to let anybody mess with their golden goose. This direct financial stake means they will use all their significant power to push for changes that benefit Clark and by extension the league's overall health and profitability. Any perceived issues or systemic problems that threaten Clark's career or marketability will now face the full force of financial giant demanding immediate and serious fixes.
They coming to save Caitlin. Goldman, because Caitlin Clark was already partnered with them. She was already got a sponsorship with Goldman Sachs. But y'all didn't know that, did y'all? Yes, they're coming to get Caitlin. They're coming to get Caitlin and get her right. See, last year, Caitlin Clark did a speaking event at Goldman Sachs. See, I'm telling you, bro, Caitlin is a move we need. Guys, it's so much information that's going to come out this offseason. Now, majority of this information is going to be alleged because all of these are backdoor deals that is going on with the Indiana Fever, backdoor deals that is going on with Caitlin Clark. These are backdoor deals. I know everybody wanted Caitlin Clark to stand up for herself.
This combination of events signals a potentially huge turning point for the WNBA, promising a significant shift as early as 2026. Everything from the alleged mistreatment of players and the integrity of officiating to the league's overall management is now under intense scrutiny. With Wall Street now directly involved in Caitlin Clark showing her strategic resolve, we should expect a new era of much higher accountability and professionalism. This is more than just one player's journey. It's a catalyst for big systemic change, challenging the old power structures and demanding a more fair and professional environment for all athletes.
Hopes up. We may be getting Caitlin Clark sooner than we thought. It'd be good. I'd like to see Caitlin Clark play. That'd be awesome for a channel that talks about Caitlin Clark. Tell me what you think. Are you looking forward to Caitlin Clark playing for Team USA? I think that's pretty badass. Her being in the Olympics is going to be a gargantuan deal. When that comes around, you want to talk about ratings?
The financial power of Goldman Sachs mixed with Caitlin Clark's unprecedented influence is creating a totally new setup in professional women's sports. That old saying, follow the money, has never been more true. This isn't just about getting sponsorships. It's about really rich investors now directly influencing how the league operates and how players are treated. These financial institutions are definitely looking for opportunities in a growing market. Yes, but they're also making sure their investments are protected. That means a stronger, more transparent WNBA isn't just something we hope for. It's going to be a requirement for the future. Those untold stories of Caitlin Clark stepping up and holding everyone accountable are now being amplified by the powerful backing of Wall Street. Her quiet, strategic moves behind the scenes are now supported by a billion-dollar deal, making sure her voice can't be ignored. This dramatic turn of events promises a fundamental overhaul of the WNBA, forcing it to deal with its alleged problems and really grow. Clark's return to Team USA isn't just coming back from an injury. It's a symbolic re-entry, marking her as the undeniable force driving a monumental transformation of the entire league. Absolutely stunning fans with her resilience and her new power.
You know, this week was filled with a bunch of damn headlines. I mean, if this how the offseason gonna be, bro, y'all might as well keep y'all bills on. Because I ain't lying, man. I had to take a little rest yesterday because it was so much news coming out in regards to the sports gambling, the WNBA currently finna be in hot water allegedly. You got Caitlin Clark dealing with the front office. That story that I released a couple of days ago, I got a part 2 to that video finna come out. I ain't even did that yet because there's still so much stuff going on, man. But we're gonna get back to that secret meeting that they had allegedly in because it's the second half to that.
The silence was absolutely deafening when the news broke. Caitlin Clark's own talent agency, Excel Sports Management, just got scooped up by none other than Goldman Sachs in a nearly billion-dollar deal. This wasn't just some regular business move. It was a clear statement. Wall Street is officially in the WNBA, and they are not messing around with their biggest star. A lot of people think this huge move is a direct way to protect Clark from all the tough stuff and lack of support she's supposedly been getting from her own reps and even the league. It's a power shift that nobody saw coming, and it's going to shake things up for everyone from the players to the commissioner. Looks like we may have a pretty good idea of when.
we may have a pretty good idea of when Caitlin Clark is next going to play basketball, and it's not during the WNBA season. At least that's not the next thing that she's got her eye on. It's not Unrivaled, and it's not Athletes Unlimited, but it is sooner than the WNBA season. And I got to tell you, this will garner a ton of interest if this happens. So let me scroll on down.
For months, there have been whispers that Clark wasn't getting enough support from her agency, Erin Kane, and Excel. Fans and insiders really felt like her team hadn't truly stood up for her when she was facing all that physical play on the court, those questionable calls from the refs, and even some pretty clear disrespect from other players and league officials. The feeling was strong. Clark was kind of left on her own. It made a lot of us wonder her agency was actually putting her career and well-being first, especially with all the drama happening in the league. Not having anyone vocally defend her was a big red flag, leaving fans asking who was really in her corner.
Because there's still so much stuff going on, man. But we're going to get back to that secret meeting that they had allegedly, because it's the second half to that. Now, something that has been a topic of discussion, a lot of people want to talk about is Caitlin Clark's agent. See, Caitlin Clark's agent, Erin Kane, right? She's one of the premier agents in the WNBA. Her, Vista Collier share this agent, and she pretty much get all of the big names in the W. Now, me personally, I feel like Caitlin Clark should most definitely sign with Clutch Sports. If it was me, I'd be making my deal to sign with Clutch Sports because they're the biggest sports agency company in the world.
Now, the Goldman Sachs acquisition changes everything. Seriously, this isn't just some small company we're talking about. Goldman Sachs is a giant, a top-tier financial firm that has massive respect and power worldwide. Their investment, almost $1 billion in a talent agency, especially one that represents someone as key as Caitlin Clark, sends a really clear message. They don't make these huge moves without a big long-term plan. And protecting their investment, which totally includes the WNBA's biggest name, is definitely at the top of their list. This is way more than just managing talent. It's about changing the whole game.
Having any setbacks or regression. During her injury-riddled season, Clark never played more than 5 games in a row and was rarely, if ever, fully healthy when she was on the floor. Outside of a few big performances, including a triple-double on opening day. Wow. That's how we started this season, with a triple-double. Oh, she didn't look like her usual self. Though her counting stats, 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, 8.8 assists, were still impressive. She shot 36.7% from the field, including 27.9%.
And get this, what makes this acquisition even more wild is that Caitlin Clark already had a pretty deep, though quiet, relationship with Goldman Sachs. She had actually done some speaking events and even had sponsorship deals with the financial powerhouse before this. So this buyout wasn't random at all. It confirms that Clark was already strategically linked with a major player who could wield huge influence. This pre-existing connection totally suggests a deliberate, thought-out move to bring power around her. It's about making sure her future in the WNBA isn't messed up by the league's past issues or any perceived unfair treatment.
Has been happening with XL, Caitlin Clark, and the Indiana Fever. That is, a lot of people feel as if Erin Kane and their company hasn't been standing up for Caitlin when it comes to her getting off the ball, when it comes to referees, when it comes to the disrespect from players and the league, and the way Kathy sneaked this in, and all these said things that is steady happening. You know, a lot of people want Caitlin Clark to leave XL. Now, what if I was to tell you the way we remember XL is going to be a totally different way moving forward, because XL.
This huge injection of Wall Street power directly takes on the WNBA's supposed troubles. We're talking about everything from gambling scandals to ongoing issues with how players are treated, those inconsistent officiating calls, and just overall league management. Goldman Sachs is known for being super strategic and for protecting their assets. They're not going to just sit back while their billion-dollar investment which is basically Clark herself, deals with big systemic problems. Their presence means every single part of the league is going to be under a microscope. They're going to demand accountability and reform in areas where many feel the WNBA has really dropped the ball lately.
But it's frustrating as an athlete to go through injury when you're not able to do what you love to do. White said certainly having setbacks, then working your way back, then having another setback, all of that is frustrating. While it's frustrating, it's important that we get her back to 100% and she's comfortable, she's confident that she's healthy, and that she can move forward in a way that continues to build on her career and her franchise. Clark will not be playing in Unrivaled this offseason and has also passed on Athletes Unlimited. Okay, so she is not playing in that league. That's confirmation.
Meanwhile, the story is actually shifting from Clark being just a victim to her being a really active strategic player. While she keeps a calm face publicly, sources are saying Clark and her team are taking a pretty strong approach behind the scenes with backdoor deals and private talks. She's been putting her foot down with her team in the league, quietly insisting on fair treatment and protection. This isn't about big public fights. It's about strategically using her influence, kind of like a chess player. These untold stories show a fierce competitor who's fighting for what she's worth.